accusing it of blatant foreign interference in the election in an attempt to help the Harris campaign. Well, I asked Environment Secretary Steve Reed for his response to this story and those accusations when he appeared on the first hour of the show to talk about this water review. His response?
Well, it's up to private individuals to choose how they use their own time and their own money. If people want to take holiday and go and campaign in another country, that's up to them. But none of this was organised by the Labour Party itself. It's just individuals. And actually, it's perfectly normal. I've seen Americans here campaigning for different parties in our elections as well. It's not unusual for people supporting a party in one country to then go and campaign for a sister party in another.
Well, I'll share with you a tweet from Head of Operations at the Labour Party in just a moment. But first, let's go to my global radio colleague Jon Sopel, who's co-presenter of the News Agents and at the News Agents USA and well experienced in American matters and American political matters. John, how common or otherwise is an FEC, Federal Election Commission complaint? Morning.
Morning, Nick. Not common. I mean, not common that you would go to the bother of going to, the FEC is where you put your filings about how much money you've raised in a quarter and all that sort of stuff. But to make a complaint about foreign interference like this, coming from, a friendly government. And look, over the years, all the time that I was living in America, you saw Brits coming over, and it was like party time because they wanted to get involved in the biggest election there was. It's like, being a supporter of a minor football club, I don't know, Leicester City, Nick.
Now, where did that come from? Go on.
And you wanted to go to the Bernabeu Stadium. When I was at the Democrat convention in August, I saw all sorts of late bumped in. What are you doing here? And they'd all come over on their own dollar because they wanted to be at a Democrat convention. And so I think, and likewise, Tories have gone over and in the past helped Republicans or in the past helped Democrats. And just think of Nigel Farage.
Yes.
Nigel Farage has been stumping for Donald Trump in this election cycle, last election cycle. He's, I bumped into him the other day. He said he'd probably be back just before the election to help if he can. So it's not unusual in itself.
So nothing to see here, John? Just former President Trump, presidential candidate Trump just trying to sling a bit of mud?
Well, nothing to see here up to a point. I think that probably if so many people have been going out and they are getting their housing sort of paid, now that's the kind of area that it gets grey. Has any money passed hands? Almost certainly not. And I think this whole offer of housing is probably, look, if you're coming over, we'll find some Democrat who can, let you kip on their floor. I think the issue is, if Donald Trump wins the election, you have to ask the question, well, what is the relationship going to be like between Donald Trump and Keir Starmer? And there is history on this, because years and years ago, when George H.W. Bush was facing re-election in 1992, I think it was, some John Major aides tried to dig up dirt, or Tory Central Office aides, tried to dig up some dirt on Bill Clinton when he was a student, a Rhodes Scholar in Oxford. Clinton wins the election. Clinton becomes, and the relationship between Bill Clinton and John Major was decidedly cool because of that. So these things are not just a nothing burger. There is a little something in that burger between those two buns. And I think that, I would imagine our ambassador in Washington is thinking, oh, geez, this is the last thing I need. I'd orchestrated a lunch between Donald Trump and Keir Starmer so that they could get to know each other, the each-way bets, that's what British diplomacy does, to try and make sure you've got good relations with everyone. And, oh, my God, now we've got this.
John, thanks as ever. Jon Sopel. Check out the News Agents and the News Agents USA. He's my global radio colleague. Thanks, John. 8:43. Let's just read you the tweet that effectively kicked off the LinkedIn post. LinkedIn post. My apologies. That's LinkedIn post. That kicked off. It comes from Sophia Patel. It's subsequently been taken down, by the way. Ms. Patel is head of operations for the Labour Party. It's a bit long, but I think you need to hear it all because John did reference it in a sense. I have nearly 100 Labour Party staff, brackets current and former, close brackets, going to the US in the next few weeks, heading to North Carolina, Nevada, Pennsylvania and Virginia. I have 10 spots available for anyone available, a lot of available, sir, to head to the battleground state of North Carolina. We will sort your housing. Email me on Labour for Kamala, blah, 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 thanks. So I have 10 spots available for anyone available to head to the battleground state of North Carolina, we will sort your housing. As Jon Sopel rightly says, that's where there's some, to use the expression, meat in the burger.